Thank you for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, thank you very much for joining at the Women's Network by Female Governors and Mayors in Tochigi. Now we begin officially the Women's Network by Female Governors and Mayors in Tochigi. My name is Yuka Tanimoto, and I will be chairing today's session. First of all, I'd like to give you a brief introduction. This program is also available in English. For details, please refer to the viewing page on our official website or the overview section on YouTube. And please refrain from recording, videotaping, or taking screenshots of today's program. At this Visionet, the female business leaders who are active on the front line of the business world will join us to exchange their opinions and information on the women's empowerment and also future of regional innovation from a woman's perspective. The June 24th and 25th, yesterday and today, the G7 Ministerial Meeting of Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment in Nikko, Tochigi is being held here in Nikko City. So we decided to hold this event on the same day and at the same place. We are holding this conference at the Nikko Kanaya Hotel, the classic hotel with a long history and tradition, which has been loved by special guests from Japan and abroad since its opening in 1873. Through this network, we will form a common understanding of a women's empowerment and by further increasing the momentum for the promotion of women's advancement in all areas of society, so that we aim to realize a future in which women can shine brightly. So first of all, I would like to introduce today's special guests. I would like to call upon your name. Please stay seated. First of all, the Governor of Tokyo Metropolitan Government, Ms. Yuriko Koike. Yamagata Prefecture Governor, Ms. Mieko Yoshimura. Tochigi Prefecture, Mayor of Tochigi, Ms. Hideko Okawa. Tochigi Prefecture, Nasukarasuyama City Mayor, Ms. Junko Kawamata. And from Tochigi Prefecture, Shimotsuga-gun, Nogi Mayor, Ms. Hiroko Mase. And Tochigi Association of Corporate Executive, Chairperson of Internationalization Promotion Committee, and Representative Director, Orion Computer Corporation, and also President of Orion IT College, Ms. Hisako Ishikawa. Tochigi's Employees Association, the Vice Chairman of Industry Education Committee, and also Chairperson of a Social Contribution Activities Promotion Committee of Tochigi Association of Corporate Executives, Representative Director of Sanshin Electric Corporation, Ms. Fumie Namura. And from Shiseido Company, the Managing Director and Executive Officer and Chief D&I Officer, Ms. Yukari Suzuki. Now, later on, we will be asking the mayor of Tokyo, various cities of Tokyo will be also joining us today. So first of all, at the beginning of this program, I would like to ask the co-chair of Visionet, the governor of Tokyo Metropolitan Government, Ms. Yuriko Koike, will give a few words of openings. Good afternoon, everyone. Tochigi, Nikko, Kanaya Hotel, which is a very traditional hotel. And I came here for the first time in quite a long time. And as being introduced, right now, it's the G7 ministerial meeting on gender equality and women's empowerment in Nikko, Tochigi is being held here in Nikko. So we decided to hold this event in Nikko. The head of the governmental council all over Japan, I hope you are doing well. And head of the government in Japan, now we are holding this event with you and hope that we can communicate many information and experience to you. Now, the world is experiencing lots of disruptions, and the last 3 years, due to COVID-19, in each region we had to fight against many challenges and also issues. Yet, now, physically, now we can get together in person like this, and also the head of the government all over Japan are coming in online. So women's empowerment and also women's engagement in the various activities. Yet, the Japanese ranking is not really increased, rather it is decreasing. The World Economic Forum shows the rankings. Last year, 116th, and according to the this year's ranking, 125th. That was a ranking of Japan. And other countries are making much more progress in the women's advancement and empowerment, much more vigorously. And yet, the head of the Japanese government is number itself is increasing. We have created a visionette with the Governor Yoshimura. So that was 2019, and the number was only 36. But now the number increased to 52. So when it comes to Tokyo, the number has also increased from 2 to 10, excluding myself. So among 23 wards, there was only one mayor of the 23 ward, but now there are 6 of them. So it has an improvement, and altogether 52 mayors and also governors, and this number have increased. However, when it comes to 1,800 local governments in Japan, that we have long way to go, that our destination or goal is far, far away. I really want to increase numbers. And when it comes to the female president, we have invited the female leaders of a business in Tochigi Prefecture. And when it comes to female president percentage, it's about 15%. So female managers, they really have to work harder to increase the numbers. So Japanese industries, Japanese societies, now we feel sort of the claustrophobic type of atmosphere. And I think women has the power to make a breakthrough in this atmosphere. I think that we can share that feeling that we can break something and then bring in new wind. So this visionette is also supported by Tokyo Chamber of Commerce, and also the female ambassador residing in Japan also supporting visionette. And we really have to communicate to the global city. Even a very small city, they should really communicate to the world. And this visionette should be the network the platform for the people to really go global. And after that, we will be discussing about the women's empowerment and the future of regional innovation, so that the head of the businesses and also government in Tochigi Prefecture will have panel discussions. So we will be discussing about the regional revitalization from a female perspective, and I think that will accelerate the mindset change in the societies. And strengthening cooperation among local governments will invigorate the region and lead to the sustainable development of Japan as a whole. So, sustainable development of Japan. So we really want to do our best to contribute to that sustainability. So I'm very much looking forward to having this discussion, and we can exchange our opinions. And maybe you can share your failures and then how you overcame these failures. So we can discuss all these in detail, so that the head of the government can invigorate the community and also turning Japan into the sustainable country for the future. So I hope that this is going to be the network for that. So thank you very much once again for coming and listening to us.
Governor Koike, thank you very much. Now, for those that unfortunately could not attend in person today, we do have some video messages that we would like to air. First, from JCCI and TCCI, we have a video message from Ken Kobayashi, Chairman. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kobayashi, Chairman of the JCCI and the Tokyo Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I would like to congratulate Governor Koike of Tokyo, Governor Yoshimura of Yamagata Prefecture, and many others for their efforts in organizing the Vision Network in Tochigi. In conjunction with the G7 ministerial meeting on gender equality and women's empowerment in Nikko Tochigi, women in leadership roles in various fields will exchange opinions on the theme of regional innovation and women's leadership. I firmly believe that deepening such unity is truly meaningful for further promoting women's activities. Now, upon assuming the position of chair last November, I visited all 23 chapters in Tokyo by March to engage in dialogue with local business leaders, carrying forward the spirit of frontline first and mutual communication. The business leaders voiced that social and economic activities are heightening in light of beyond COVID, but they face serious challenges such as labor shortage, accommodating wage increases, and the difficulty to pass price increases on to the consumer. According to a survey conducted by TCCI in February of this year, 64.3% of companies responded that they are short of labor, an increase of 3.6 points from last year. This indicates that the labor shortage is becoming quite dire. Needless to say, the need for a diverse range of people, including women, to be involved in economic and social activities has never been greater. Strengthening a multifaceted foundation allowing women to flourish with secure economic and social diversity, which in turn will lead to innovation. Companies are expected to create an environment in which everyone, including women, can play an active role and to incorporate diverse perspectives into management to increase employee motivation and productivity, leading to growth. According to a survey conducted by JCCI last year, more than 70% of companies responded that they are promoting women's activities. However, more than half of them indicated that they are facing challenges. It is also true that there are many issues to be addressed in empowering women, with more than 40% reporting that they have no women in managerial positions. On the other hand, it is not all about challenges. The steady increase in the number of women leaders in various fields of government and business, including those of you present here today, as well as in various regions throughout Japan, further demonstrates that the number of women with the motivation, ability, and sense of responsibility to become the next leaders is on the rise. We at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry would also like to understand the status of women's activities at SMEs to further promote women's activities and approach the government, as well as disseminate good practices to further develop women leaders and propel the environment. I would like to conclude my remarks by expressing my hope that this network will be meaningful to each and every one of you participating today. Thank you for your kind attention. Next, Minister Delegate in charge of Equality, Isabelle Rome. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a supporter of elected women who are passionate about social issues. I would like to thank you and congratulate you for this wonderful initiative, Vision Network. Emmanuel Macron, President of the French Republic, has made equality between women and men a top priority in his 2 terms in office. Our government is composed of an equal number of men and women, with women serving as Prime Minister and Speaker of the National Assembly. Indeed, women play an essential role in a democratic society. Have a nice evening, everyone, and thank you for watching. Next. Thank you. Next. Parliamentary Undersecretary of State for Mental Health and Women's Mental Strategy UK, Maria Caulfield.
Governor Koike, Governor Yoshimura, female mayors, and to everyone attending the conference, I would like to send you my best wishes. As the British Minister for Women, I have enormous respect for you and all your achievements. If we are to build a fairer, more inclusive and more resilient society, it is essential that women are able to participate in all spheres of society. This of course includes political leadership. It also includes economic and cultural leadership. I'm sorry that I'm unable to attend the ministerial conference that is taking place in Hideko. However, I will be represented by the British Ambassador to Japan, Julia Longbottom, who is our first female ambassador to Japan and a role model for women's leadership. She and her colleagues will be working with others to ensure that the conference really delivers for women and girls. As the President of the G7 this year, I know the Japanese government is committed to the achievement of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. This is demonstrated in the communiqué agreement by leaders last month, which made strong commitments in this area. Chikimyuki, the first Japanese and Asian woman in space, said, "We should believe in ourselves and be more self-confident." This, I agree, is a start, but we also have barriers that we have to overcome. These barriers can include others judging what we achieve because of our sex. They can also include the lack of role models. For these reasons, I strongly believe that we as women must lead in order that others can follow. I send you my congratulations on the progress that you are making and urge that you ask yourselves what more you can do to encourage others. I wish you well for the conference and look forward to hearing about the outcomes.
Next, U.S. State Department Senior Official, Office of Global Women's Issues, Katrina Fotovat.
Hello, distinguished guests, Governor Koike, Governor Yoshimura, women mayors, ambassadors, and everyone attending. Congratulations on this prestigious gathering of women leaders from across the globe for the Vision Network by Female Governors and Mayors Conference. Events like this are critical to advancing gender equality in all of our countries and beyond. Thank you for organizing and inviting me to participate in this event. Gender equality is not only a human rights issue, it is a foundational component of efforts to promote free and fair democracies, inclusive economic growth, international peace and stability, conflict prevention and resolution, and an end to gender-based violence, and solutions to global challenges such as the climate crisis, widespread forced displacement, and the economic and social impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. The full participation of women and girls in all their diversity contributes to the economic well-being, health, and security of the world. As Vice President Kamala Harris so clearly stated, the status of women is the status of democracy. Yet despite substantive evidence on the importance of women's direct participation in addressing security challenges, they are often absent from political and security institutions and decision-making processes that impact them, their families, and their communities. Which is why it's so important that we all have gathered here today to discuss the issues that affect women and girls in all their diversity and in each of your cities, municipalities, and nations. In addition to women, I urge you to consider the needs of other groups often discriminated against, such as LGBTQI+ individuals, individuals with disabilities, and those who have been displaced from their homes due to conflict or climate disasters. When we work together, there are no limits to what we can achieve. I look forward to hearing your stories and learning from your experiences. Thank you again for hosting and participating in this conference and for continuing to champion gender equality through your work every day. Thank you.
Next, from ACCJ, President Board of Governors, Prakash Om.
Hello, everyone. I am Om Prakash, President of the American Chamber of Commerce. And to Governor Koike, Governor Yoshimura, and to all the other female mayors, governors, ambassadors, and attendees from all over Japan, konnichiwa. It is an honor to address the Vision Network Conference on behalf of the American Chamber of Commerce, the ACCJ. We represent over 3,000 members, over 600 companies, from Fortune 500 to startup and entrepreneurs, multinational corporations, both here in Japan. And our mission is to develop commerce between the US and Japan and improve the overall business environment in Japan. And very much aligned with our mission, we're deeply committed to the goal of advancing women leaders. We are all well aware that there's a huge opportunity in Japan just by valuing female engagement and advancement. We need more voices and even stronger action to create an equitable workplace environment that will promote the role of women in the workplace. This, in turn, creates policy changes that will benefit employees, attract a more diverse workforce, and it will contribute to innovation, ideas, and all these things will positively impact all of our societies. Moreover, with women in leadership positions, in corporate boards, and across the workforce, it will benefit all of us, and it will help Japan reach its economic potential and be a leading force for innovation and to be a financial hub in the Asia Pacific and across the globe. The ACCJ has been a long-time advocate for advancing women leaders, supporting workplace reform, and promoting a diverse and equitable workforce. We've published advocacy papers. We've hosted progressive learning series. Just recently, we held a special series to help women break through the C-suite barrier and also help them develop male champions to support and promote their efforts in the workforce. Such training not only inspires this generation, but it plants the seeds that will inspire the next generation as well, which is how change will happen. So to help women and a diverse talent in the workforce, we need to support each other. And you have the ACCJ as a partner. As women governors, mayors, ambassadors, you are the forefront of change. And our members are proud to stand alongside you. And good luck today in your conference. Thank you very much.
Now it is time for the keynote speech. Ms. Suzuki will give a keynote speech titled Diversity and Inclusion at the Shiseido. Please note that the title of the keynote speech has been changed from the previously distributed press release. Ms. Yukari Suzuki, Director, Executive Officer, Chief D&I Officer, Shiseido. After joining Shiseido, Ms. Suzuki was involved in various brands and assumed the position of a representative director and executive officer in 2009. She experienced many small turning points that brought about changes in perspective, such as overseas training program, and in the process, she realized the importance of collaboration while making the most out of diversity. She has also been working on women's empowerment for many years and has been focusing on it even more. As Chief D&I Officer appointed in January 2022, she has been active not only within the company, but also focusing on how Shiseido can contribute to the society. She also serves as a member of the Tokyo Livelihood Council, the Kurashikata Council, which was established by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government in March this year to discuss various situations related to people living and working in Tokyo. Now, please welcome Ms. Suzuki. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so honored to be invited to this significant event where women chiefs gather to exchange opinions and information. I will take about 20 minutes or so out of your very precious time. So today I'd like to discuss about how we are working on the women's empowerment and also the inclusions and diversity at Shiseido. So first of all, let me briefly introduce Shiseido. They founded in 1872, so it celebrated its 150th anniversary last year. Shiseido currently operates cosmetic brands centered in skincare, makeup, and fragrance in 120 countries and regions. 40,000 group employees around the world who represent about 100 different nationalities. So we are truly diverse workforce, and also it will be increasingly important to nurture corporate culture that can take advantage of this diversity. Today, I'd like to focus on women's activities in Japan, where Shiseido headquarters and also Shiseido Japan and other companies have more than 20,000 employees. In Japan, about 80% of our employees are women. As a beauty company, we have a large presence of beauty professionals, but even excluding beauty professionals, the ratio of male to female employees is 50-50. Currently, the ratio of female managers is 37.6%, and although we have been recognized as being advanced among Japanese companies, we believe that we have still a long way to go. The Shiseido's corporate mission is beauty innovations for better world. Throughout its 150-year history, Shiseido has always created diverse values of beauty that represent new era. The Miss Shiseido, the profession, was created in early 1900. At that time, there was the thinking that children of good families do not enter the professions. Yet, in 1970s, the launch of a makeup product, the company broke away from the Western beauty imitations that were the mainstay at that time and presented Oriental beauty to the world. In 1990s, at the time that women were not yet positive about aging, the company launched a skincare product for mature women with a copy line, "I think Japan will change if there are more beautiful 50-year-old." The message emphasized the value that one's attractiveness as a person deepened with age. Last year's 150th anniversary message stated that beauty means wishing for people's happiness. So through all these messages, that we will really contribute to a society that is inclusive of diversity, a society in which everyone can pursue their own personal beauty and live their own lives. For Shiseido, we believe that the empowerment and promotion of women will lead beyond that to the creation of an environment in which people can demonstrate their abilities. So regardless of their attributes or background, they can really show their strengths. The diversity, race, ethnicity, LGBT, disability, region, and others. So it is not because it is the right thing to do or stakeholders or pressure. We believe that it is essential for our survival and development of the company. I mentioned that we are still halfway there, and we aim to achieve a 50% ratio of women at all levels in Japan by 2030. So in other words, 50% women in managerial position and executive and other levels. So that the Shiseido has been engaged in the women's advancement within the company for a relatively long time, but road has not been an easy one. Here, I would like to look back on the steps that we took and also sharing the learnings. There have been three major phases up to 1990. So until the 1980s, many women left the company upon marriage or childbirth. Therefore, Shiseido introduced the child care leave system and a shortened working hour for system for child care prior to the establishment of the law. So as a result, fewer people left the company due to marriage or childbirth, and many female employees, including beauty staff working in stores, were able to continue working. In other words, that since 1990s, the women can start working while raising children. And however, at that time, we provided the long working hours or working on a weekend, late shift for those child-rearing people, and sometimes resulted in the increased burden for the other employees. So in 2010s, we began to explore ways to encourage employees to work as active members of the company's workforce while raising children. So the next theme is to go beyond the stage where employee can simply continue to work and aim for career advancement while raising children. And Shiseido made a major change in policy, requesting employees who are taking the maternity leave to work the late shift and on the weekend. This provoked a reaction at the time. Shiseido is no longer kind to women, and it became known as the Shiseido shock. But I think it was a good advancement. The supervisor can check the environment of each employee and had a thorough conversation with them in order to provide constellation according to their own situation. The change provided an opportunity for the employees to raise their awareness that they can be an asset to the company by creating a child care environment on their own initiative. So as a result, almost all the shop floor beauticians agreed to work in the late shift too. So this has changed the organization's teamwork and then provided the growth opportunity. It became clear that some employees who were taking maternity leave felt bad about the additional burden placed on other employees. And also the people who want to really make a progress in the career, even though they want to take a maternity leave, and then they felt like their opportunity was taken. So the men also realized that the situation of a woman. So the child rearing is not just a woman's work. We really want to change the stereotype concept about the rearing a child, or mother should be taking care of her children, so that just helping the woman, alleviating the workload is not just helping the woman's advancement. It is not just providing the convenience, but also we really have to supporting their career growth. So with this, we can say we are in the third phase of career growth while raising children. So currently, we are continuing efforts to encourage them to pursue career advancement. When we look at women's professional lives in detail, there are four main stages in process of women's career development. When they enter the workforce, and also the life events such as marriage and childbirth, and when they become the managers, and also going up to the managerial positions, so that the insight of the individuals are all different in different stage. So in other words, that we cannot just take the one-fit-all type of policy. According to the career stage, we really have to think of their situation and take countermeasures. If you look at extreme left, then you can really see the different career stages. The most critical thing is the commitment from the top leaders. Otherwise, we cannot speed up the process. And then, of course, there is the mindset of the individual, but also the mindset of the supervisor. I believe that the person and his or her supervisors are the most important factors in providing good input. And at the same time, it is very important to have diverse and flexible work options and to break away from traditional Japanese employment practices such as long working hours or lifetime employment. So it is difficult for a single company to do this. Today, I would like to talk about the next leadership session for women. And also, I believe it is very important to change the mindset of society as a whole in order to encourage women to grow in their careers. And I would like to touch upon it later. So next leadership for women, also known as NLW, was launched in 2017 to strengthen the pipeline of the women's leaders. The goal is to help future leaders to discover and demonstrate leaders that uniquely their own.
We know that many women have a stereotypical image of a leader, such as you have to be charismatic to be a leader, or you are not a leader unless you're always in the forefront, pulling everyone along with you, and many feel that they cannot be that leader or do not even want to be that leader. I know that many people have a fixed image of a leader, so this session is designed to help you break free from these stereotypes and explore your core benefits and the path you want to take in Shiseido. We started this session with candidates for departmental heads, but we have now expanded the scope to include those who are in the preliminary stage of people management and those who are candidates for management positions beyond that stage. This careful awareness and mindset is very important to bring out the potential of women. The sessions have been successful in helping women discover their own leadership style and increase their confidence and readiness to take on higher positions and exert greater influence in the future. As you can see here, there has been a significant increase in motivation for promotion, and as you see, 202 have already took this course, and 64 have advanced their careers. It is also important to note that the program includes a part for participant supervisors, which provides ongoing support after they return through their workplaces, such as stretch assignments to help them grow. Since I'm in Tochigi Prefecture today, I would like to say a few words about our Nasu plant. It is a new factory opened in 2019, and a woman has been appointed as the new factory manager since 2020. In Shiseido, the number of female employees in the production field is small, and the ratio of managers is also smaller than in other fields. Now, since only male factory managers have been appointed in the past, I am looking forward to seeing the first female factory manager at Shiseido to bring in new perspectives that will lead to good ideas and innovation and bring about positive changes at the production site. The ratio of women at this factory is currently about 60%, which means that there are more women in the production site. Since this is a new factory, we have many employees in their 20s and 30s, and many of them are in their child-rearing years, and they live here locally. So we do have high expectations for their future activities. Now, up to this point, I've introduced our efforts as a company, but I would like to touch briefly on society as we consider today's theme, the future of women's activities and regional innovation. Now, as you may already know, on June 21st, and as Governor Koike mentioned this as well, the World Economic Forum released the Gender Gap Index, ranking Japan 125th out of the 146 countries overall, a further decline from last year. The gap in the area of political participation in particular remained particularly large, remaining almost unchanged from the previous year at 138th place, the lowest level in the world. In the economic field, the country's ranking dropped consecutively from 117th the year before last and 121st the year before to 123rd this year. This is due to a drop in the labor participation rate and the male-female gap in the number of managerial positions. Education and health were ranked 47th and 59th respectively due to a relatively small educational gap in the country and absence of significant differences in health between men and women. One of the factors I would like to discuss today in relation to women's activities in Japan persisted gender role division mentality. Now, this is quite surprising, but it also shows that there's not much difference between generations, and even among the younger generation, there is a certain segment of people who have not changed their mindset. Now, many women and certainly men are influenced or pressured by these social attitudes. As a result, I believe that the free labor for childcare and housework and nursing care is heavily skewed toward women. Now, even from an international global perspective, the number of hours of unpaid work by men in Japan is significantly less than in other countries. Now, in Japan, men work significantly fewer hours for free than men in other countries, while men work more hours for pay than men in other countries. Now, I believe that the long working hours that are the norm in Japan as a matter of employment practice are one of the factors that support this stereotype division of gender roles. Now, next, look at the time spent by dual-earner families on childcare and housework. The average is 7 hours and 34 minutes per day. Now, even if this is shared equally between husband and wife, it is still nearly 4 hours per person. So if we assume that most of the current work style is one in which overtime work is done until late, or that one person is responsible for the majority of the work, then the child-rearing generation is a very tense and difficult situation. It will be difficult to have time to spend with children while developing their careers. And it is really necessary for the family to take on this responsibility together. Now here, I would like to share with you some of the opinions of the Tokyo Lifestyle Council, which I'm also a member. Now, Governor Koike attends each and every meeting, and I am also acquiring a lot of insight. So for the past 3 meetings that I've attended so far, there were some very impressive comments made by the committee members, as you see here. Japanese women are told to work, to shine, or give birth, so they're very hectic. They're in a very hectic position. And for companies that are flexible in their work styles, they should be awarded or incentivized. And if we can realize an environment where long work hours can be amended, and that will allow a much better environment for child rearing, or if we can balance the in-home or household labor amongst the genders, then it will further prove the improvement of the overall society. So from such discussions, I believe that in order for women to play an active role in society, it will be necessary to change the awareness of society as a whole through the efforts of companies, legislation, and government. So whether you're single or married, or with or without children, with a family to care for, or with an illness of your own, each person lives their life in a very different environment, spending diverse time not only at work, but also in other aspects of life outside of work. Each person has the right to fully demonstrate his or her abilities to fulfill his or her career and lead an enriched life. It is important for companies to aim for an environment where each and every one of these people can work with vitality, but I do think it is also necessary to consider this as an issue common for all members of society. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we are addressing D&I, diversity and inclusion, as a management strategy for growth, and it is an essential theme for the survival and development of the company. Shiseido has been and will continue to create new social value through beauty and contribute to the realization of an inclusive society in which many diverse people can play active roles. Now, for the Japanese society, I believe that the promotion of diversity and the creation of an inclusive society, including women's activities and beyond, are themes that must be seriously addressed and involved at once in order to achieve economic growth and people's happiness. On that note, I would like to conclude. Thank you very much.
So the leading company, the Shiseido, who has been working very hard to make an advancement of the women. So that was Ms. Suzuki. Thank you so much. So now I'd like to begin the talk session on the theme of women's empowerment and the future of regional innovation. With the revision of the Act on the Promotion of Women's Active Engagement in Professional Life last year, the momentum is building towards the realization of a society where women can fully demonstrate their abilities in various fields, including politics and the economy. On the other hand, the local communities, there are still many issues in order to balance work and child rearing. So that is a reality. So how can we increase the number of women participating in policy and management decision-making process? What initiatives are needed to enhance women's digital skills? And what support should be provided to women as leaders in their communities? In this talk session, we would like to hear your opinions on how we can promote women's engagement in local communities and help women unleash their full potential that has not been fully exploited until now. So before we begin the talk session, I would like to introduce the mayor of Tokyo 23 wards who are participating online. So first of all, from the Koto Ward Mayor, Ms. Yayoi Kimura. Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. And then from Shinagawa City Mayor, Ms. Kyoko Morisawa. Very nice to meet you. And then from Toshima City, Ms. Miyuki Takazawa, the Mayor. And Kita City, Ms. Kanako Yamada, Mayor. And the Mayor of Kodaira City, Ms. Yoko Kobayashi. And Mayor of Higashiyama Toshi, Ms. Hitomi Wachi. Very nice to meet you. And from the city of Nitama-gun, Hinode-machi, Ms. Misako Tamura. Very nice to meet you. So that was the mayors of Tokyo Metropolitan Government and also ward.
So without further ado, we would like to proceed to the talk session. So we would like to cover the first theme, which is regional innovation and leadership among women. So this will be the first theme that we would like to cover. Now, the remarkable success of women in the local elections held in April this year is still fresh in our minds. The percentage of women in 41 prefectural assemblies increased significantly from 10.4% in the previous election to 14.0%, and a record number of 7 women were elected as mayors. In the municipal assembly elections, the percentage of women enacted exceeded 20% for the first time. Now, having said that, Japan still remains one of the most lowest countries in the world in terms of the percentage of women in political decision-making positions. So how do we conquer this? How do we break away from this is a major challenge. Now let us look at the numbers. The percentage of women in the House of Representatives at 10.3% ranks a low 164th out of the 186 countries in the world. And the percentage of women in local assemblies, although it has made great strides, it is still at a very low level. And there are not a small number of municipalities in Japan with no women in assemblies. So this is the current state. So in order to improve the vitality of local communities which are facing a double burden of population decline and aging, it is essential to expand opportunities for women to participate in the policy-making process, which until now has been conducted mainly by men, and to introduce women's unique perspectives, ideas, and knowledge into administrative services and community development. To this end, we would like to ask you what roles women in leadership positions should play and what kind of leadership they should demonstrate. So we would like to ask the panelists today.
So let me ask first of all to the Governor Yoshimura. As a female leader, what have been your thoughts and efforts so far? Also, is there anything that you have been able to do because you are a woman? Well, my name is Yoshimura of Yamagata Prefecture. Well, I'm a governor, but I am not so conscious of being a woman. I think that I am a one person, an individual who lead the governmental office. Yet I am a female. I experienced child rearing and also the care support. So without my knowledge, maybe my experience has been reflected in my governmental management. And also expectation from the residents to me. Probably that also should be reflecting my experience. So I'd like to talk about 3 points. The first one is about my experience. So as soon as I became a governor, I created Office of Child Policy directly under my control, and I appointed a woman for the head. And then next year, it became a child rearing promotion department, and the female director was appointed for the first time in the prefectural government. We worked on the low birth rate and also child policy, and also women's empowerment. But so it was very difficult to just make the accelerated progress. The second point, half of the residents in Yamagata Prefecture is 50%. So women. So women is half of our residents. So we have to reflect their voices. We have 96 different councils in the government, and I wanted to make the member of those council 50% of them should be female. It took many years, unless they excluding the council of the experts, that all 82 councils that I achieved the target of 50% of women of the members of these councils. So I really want to reflect women's perspectives in our government management. The third point is, it's rather surprising to me too, but the tasty rice, tsuyahime of Yamagata Prefecture. So we have to really decide a name for that. So I decided to put Tsuyahime. It's a Princess Tsuya. And male governor often said that the woman has 3 times more marketing power than a man. And I didn't know about that, but I worked very hard to make a marketing pitch about Tsuyahime, our rice brand. And now it's grown to the well-known rice brand in Japan. So I think that that was my feeling about my experience. So I'm working in media, and I often cover many things. And I often talk to the startup people. Yamagata University, they are holding the startup promotion classes, and I talk in the classes. So I talk to the residents, and also I've been covering their residents. So what they're saying is that the Governor Yoshimura is great because she is so flexible. So maybe gender doesn't matter, but according to my coverage, the regular governor or the chief of the administration, do you often say, is there any precedence? Or what about the success rate of this project? But Governor Yoshimura often said, oh, I find it interesting. Why don't we try that? And then when she says it's interesting, oh, it's fun to try it, usually be successful. So when she thinks it's fun, usually other people get excited and then promote. So that's why it makes a great advancement in the Tochigi Prefecture. So maybe gender doesn't matter, But according to my coverage, that the female chief of the government usually finds things interesting and then just try it. So they are so flexible. So that's why maybe those female chiefs are very good for the future. So next, I'd like to talk to the Okawa, Mayor Okawa, and she served 5 terms of 19 years as the city council member, and also she started realizing the importance of the woman after participating Women's Conference in Beijing. What do you think of this, Ms. Okawa? Good afternoon. My name is Okawa. So as being pointed out, that I participated in the Women's Conference in Beijing. That was 1995. That was the 4th Women's Conference in Beijing. And at that time, 5,000 people participated in that conference. So 17 women from my city participated, mainly from NGOs. But we really felt that we should really send the woman to the decision-making arena for the policies. I was the youngest one, and but I decided I have to do it my own. So 1999, I became a candidate for the office, and 1999, the basic law for the equality, gender equality passed, and chief cabinet officer was there to really implement this basic law on the gender equality, and that was 1999, and it was a follow wind for the woman to be a member of the government, and I think that the number have grown since. So I started working in the office and tried to give my female perspective on the child rearing and then others. So as a council member, I have to review all these issues, but even for creating a policy, you have to incorporate a female view and perspective. And right now I am a mayor, and at that time there was no department head, female department head. And after I became city 3 and 4, and now 17 to 20% of the department heads are women. So, but of course, I cannot appoint the woman from the beginning to the head of the department. So when they become member or employee of the office, the equal opportunity should be given to male and female. And I've been asking the supervisors to give the equal opportunity for both men and women. And now 20 years passed since the basic law of the gender equality, but the situation hasn't made much progress. And when you look at the G7 ministerial meeting of gender equality and women's empowerment, I hope that the women's advancement will be closer to our vision. Thank you very much, Ms. Okawa. So you are wearing a beautiful kimono. Thank you very much. So hundreds of conferences and meetings I participate, but this is really the nice and beautiful occasion to see. We are talking about the women's advancement and also empowerment and holding these events. And of course, women's advancement is most important, but also have to work on the diversity. And we really have to promote it at the same time so that each individual can really express themselves and also be themselves. And I think that it is not really one-fits-all type of policy, but you really have to let everyone to be themselves. And I think that it is very good opportunity for all of us to really think about it again. So I've been looking at you, and then I felt that the effect.
Now moving on, I would like to welcome Mayor Mase from Tochigi Prefecture. And 15 years ago, you became the first women leader within Tochigi Prefecture, and you had no connection to politics. Up to that point, you had been an art teacher at high school, and you had also raised children and also took care of your parents as well. So what are the roles of women leaders to innovate local communities? So Nogi Machi Mayor, my name is Hiroko. My name is Maseno. And so I do believe that women are the foundation to propel the local community. I believe that that is the nature of the question. And so if I look at my surroundings, as Yoshimura governor just mentioned as well, raising children or taking care of your parents, and based on these actual experiences, reflecting that into policy. And I feel the strong intent from Yoshimura-san. And I also realize that as based on actual experience, raising children, education, or taking care of your parents, I think that women are much more involved than men, which means that we have a much more attuned understanding of what the local issues are. So for instance, in my city, we want to create an equal gender community, so that is the main focus. Having said that, 80% of volunteer work is done by women, but they're enjoying and having a lot of fun doing these volunteer activities. And throughout these activities, I realize that they have strong power. And amongst these the very active women, there are so many women that have potential to become leaders, so many. However, out of 14 assembly members, we only have 2 women. That is, the women are hesitant to raise their hand. However, they realize that issues do have to be resolved, and at many community gatherings, for instance, a lot of policies are put forth. In other words, very detailed initiatives, for instance, extending hours or Saturdays and Sundays. Opening up sites where you can entrust your children, even if it's over the weekend or so. We do now have the platform where women's ideas can evolve. So finally, we're there at that stage. But for me personally, just because you're a man or a woman, that does not dictate the policy itself. And for the past 15 years, I've been working for the city. But just because I'm a woman, I don't have any specific initiatives that I can boast about. However, I do think that it's a very small city it's the smallest city actually within Tochigi Prefecture, but everything is quite relaxed, and both men and women are very vibrant in working, and we have always put our intent into creating that environment. Thank you very much. And you said it in a relaxed manner, and not just women, but for men as well. People or creating the foundation for people to flourish and enrich their lives. So I understand that. Now, next, let me ask Governor Koike. At the press conference last April, you understand a quota system for the Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So at least 40% of the members of the Tokyo Metropolitan Council and other bodies will be of either gender. So could you tell about the progress of this quota system? Yes. Thank you. So as Governor Yoshimura mentioned, you say 50% are now council members, women are, that is. And you've exceeded 50%, I think, was mentioned. So if you exclude the statutory requirements, so by legislation, I think it's fix. For this council, you have to have X number of women. So you've actually exceeded that threshold as well, yes. So not all 96, but 82. So for all 82 councils. So for the councils that have yet to fulfill, for instance, sanitarian experts, in other words, the expert or professionals where we need those professionals, it's very difficult to exceed the 50% mark. But I think it's wonderful. So going back to the question that you raised, I believe that setting a goal and making it a active goal, we need at Tokyo as well some justification. So last year in 2022, in June, we established a directive, which is the so-called quota system, to promote gender equality. So we wanted to exceed the 40% mark. And as a decision maker, that was my intent. And I wanted to gather as many women candidates as much as possible and decide the council members. And by doing so, we have been able to fast forward our goal reaching, and we've already exceeded the 40.7% mark. Now, the number of councils in Tokyo, we have more than 400 plus councils throughout Tokyo. But it also means that we have a strong pool of talents as well. We have many women with many types of backgrounds, and so we want to encourage them to become members of the council. And there was some very insightful discussions from Suzuki-san at Shiseido, which I'd like to thank you. And you're also a member of the Lifestyle Council, and focusing on what is the type of workplace which is easier or more comfortable for women to work, and so you are an active member. Thank you. And Okawa, Mayor Okawa, you said that things are not progressing, but in actuality, I think they are. And I say always that it might be a late, but we are progressing. So the late part. So I'm not going to, do a play on words here, but do you have that commitment? And this country will not change without that commitment. And you can note that in the national government as well. I feel that very strongly. So that is why, since I am a decision maker right now, what can I do? Creating these directives or making sure that they are fulfilled and make sure that we streamline the environment to allow this to happen. So here in Japan, this bias that society has, yes, Japan does change when we need to, but it is very difficult to reach that point, that turning point. And it's a struggle, and it's an uphill battle, I know, but I think that each and every one of us has to exert our efforts. So we also have leaders, mayors from Tokyo as well, connected online. And again, for all of you to put in your passion, I think will show how we can change things with the power of women. So I have high expectations. Thank you very much. And I understand now that you've exceeded the timeline to fulfill the goal, and your commitment, I think, as one resident of Tokyo Metropolitan City, it is very, very encouraging. And so I do hope that this continues, and I also obviously have to make my personal commitment as well. So I would also like to ask Governor Yoshimura as well. So you mentioned that you also need a quota system, not just at local level, but also at the diet level. So again, your thoughts on the introduction of a quota system? Yes, so in the local governments, men do politics, or men do management of companies. So there is this very strong unconscious bias still. And one of the reasons is perhaps there are limited role models, female role models, whether it be politicians or female managers or CEOs. I think we need to increase the number of role models, and that is quite important. And so implementing the quota system, I think, is very, very important.
In the world, 118 countries already introduced the quota system, and I am the leader of the Gender Equality Project team of a National Governors Association, so I've been making a proposal to the central government and also proposing this to the Yamagata Prefecture, but it is not making a progress. Well, but if we don't take quota system and just leave it to the natural progress, in 10 years, 20 years, Japan is going to be the lowest in the ranking. I feel the sense of crisis. So everyone should work together. Why don't we introduce quota system so that we can turn the corner here and make an environment for the women's advancement for the future as a central government and also local government and both private and public. I think now is the last opportunity for us to really make it. Well, thank you very much. The Governor Koike, do you have any comment or anything that you'd like to say? I quite agree with her. As I stated before, I'm not saying that it is not making a progress, but it is progress at a very slow pace, so very gradually. So Japan is just walking very slowly, but everybody else in the world is committed to making a progress. So we are really racing in the F1 race, but we are just going very slowly, but everybody else is going so fast. So whether a woman can make a progress or not, then I would say that we have a much envelope. We can much more journey to go, but we can make it as a positive way, saying that this much we can go. And we have to start something we can do right now. And the number of female diet person is very small because everybody believes that going in election is so hard. But when you think of the number of the female parliamentarians are very limited. But we have to think of what I can do. I often say that unless you buy the lottery, you can win that. So recently, the TV commercials say that the 80-something female programmer said that unless you swing the bat, you can't hit the ball. So that unless you do it, you can't really change it. So you have to really talk to the people so they become your team members. And I'm sure that you all are experiencing that working in a team. I know you face with lots of challenges, but I think it's worth challenging it. So thank you very much, Governor Koike. So we are making a progress very slowly, and then that is one of the problem solver could be a digital technology. So second issue here is about the digital. So the 27th session of the United Nations Commission on Status Women, they picked up about the gender equality and women's rights. And they talked about the enhancement of the women's digital skill. So to expand the opportunity for women, the reskilling for the digital technology and also STEM education could be the solutions so that the DX work for women and also support for the women's advancement with digital technology. So first of all, I would like to ask President of Orion Computer Corporation and also the President of the Orion IT College, Ms. Ishikawa. So the school was created for the purpose of accepting young foreign human resources as exchange students and sending them to Japanese company as highly skilled IT professionals. So what are your thoughts on the future of a female digital human resource development? You're one of the experts in the digital technology here in Tochigi Prefecture. Thank you. Well, I was born in Nikko city, so my name is Ishikawa. Very nice to meet you. So, what about the future of the digital human resources? Let me share my view. We really have to expand the educational opportunity for women. So we have to increase the opportunity. So even in a primary school, junior high, high school, and even university, we should provide the programming classes and then digital skill classes. And at the same time, adult women, we have to provide a short incentive digital skill course or online platform for the adult women so that they can reskill for the existing employees. Even housewives can learn about the digital technology. And also, as Governor Yoshimura mentioned, that women to work in a digital technology, we have to have more role models, successful ones. So female leaders and female experts should share their experiences and also knowledge so that can show how the regular woman can make a progress in this area. So women feel like maybe I can do the same, and that incentive is very important. I hope that we should provide an equal opportunity for the people who are willing to challenge this. And also for the future, women's creativity can be unleashed by the DX. So women can share their ideas and also communicate what they are thinking about. And you have to provide platform. DX may mean that the corporation use the AI, IoT, and also big data to simplify the operation of the businesses, but also changing the business model and also product and services, and at the same time change the corporate culture, organization to come up with competitive advantage. So creativity of women is great. To bring about innovation or bring about disruption, it is very important to listen to women. And lastly, I would like to say that this is my personal thing, but I started my company at 30-year-old, and then I gave birth to my daughter at 39-year-old. And until I found the daycare center for my daughter, she was with me at the company. So there are many female workers, and then they took turn taking care of her while I was working. So for the future, the corporation must understand the difficulty of a woman being at the company. So many companies, I hope, will support the woman to work at the company and at the same time rearing child. Ms. Ishikawa, thank you so much. So I should ask Governor Koike about this too. So I think that you started the digital business skill acquisition training program for women started in 2022. So how do you plan to support women's advancement using digital technology, reskilling, and also the career consulting for the future? Well, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government fight against the COVID-19 for 1,200 days. And I think it was a very hard time for companies and also families. And during these 3 years, the work from home made a progress so much. The online education of the school, at first, everybody was at a loss. But now, the thing can make progress. Then that was the feeling probably everybody had. And also the IT skill is going to be an essential skill for a person. It is not a special thing. Unless you have the IT skill, you can't even start working. So I think it is a time to get immersed into the digital technology. You cannot avoid it, and you really have to make sure that the digitalization should be incorporated into our government so that we can improve the quality of services of the Tokyo governmental services.
And for the Tokyo metropolitan citizens, 20,000 are subject for reskilling activities, and we are propelling forward with this. And for the companies as well, we offer consultation as to how to proceed, so we dispatch consultants to move forward digitalization. So this delay in DX is should not be the delay of the country, Japan. So we are very focused on quickening the activities of reskilling. So this is something that we will further accelerate. And it's not about gender, it's not about men or women, I think, any longer. Thank you very much. And I would also like to ask Governor Yoshimura as well. So to nurture digital talents at Yamagata, what are your initiatives? So for digital talents and to nurture such talents, regardless of gender, starting from a young age, before joining the workforce, starting from grade school, middle school, high school, starting from a very young stage, equipping yourself with digital skill sets is extremely important, I believe. So for us at Yamagata Prefecture, we have the Yamagata AI division, which supports high school students in AI. So basically, prefectural corporations are supporting this, and so both the government, the academia, as well as private sector is supporting this. And so it goes beyond the school boundaries. So students learn about state-of-the-art AI technologies, and they're learning this. So we have 57 high schools. Out of that, 26 are participating in this program. And they're enjoying this outer curriculum session. And the awareness of this program is heightening, and many more high schools are raising their hands saying they want to participate. Now, the female students, 30% are joining in on this program. So still, we want to expand, hopefully, the number of girl students. Now, once you do join the labor force, we want to offer occasions where you can equip yourselves with reskilling. So starting from 2021, we do have a program that we've enacted. And so this is for recruiting activities. And we've noted that 70% of the out of the 260, 70% are women that attend these courses, it turns out. And last year, we had basic courses as well as how we apply this to the workplace, and also programming language application developments as well. So in other words, very pragmatic courses were offered as well. And so again, this was well received. So we do believe that for women to be empowered, women do need to enter the digital work market as well. So depending on the life stage, we do hope that we can offer the opportunity to reskill and make sure that we have the foundation for women can make advancements in society. Thank you very much. So regardless of male, female, digital is a skill set that is needed by everyone, I believe. And I think that I have a clear understanding. But as Ishikawa-san mentioned as well, using the power of digital will allow us to offer equal opportunities. And I personally strongly feel about this as well. And in the economic media that I belong to, the readership of male and women was 80 to 20%. And because I think it's not just for our publication, but for business publications, we did women awards, we created articles highlighting women, we did everything we could, but nothing changed. But suddenly it changed since remote work began, and now it's 50-50. It's actually now 60-40 now, but this was encouraged by remote work. So digital skill sets need to be geared by everyone, but this providing the digital environment changes many things. Maybe you had to go back early, or you have to go back early to make dinner, for instance. But now they now have the time to look at this business media, and I believe that a big wave change is coming, and I think we really need to capture this wave. Unless not, we will lose this tremendous opportunity. So we at our publication, at our media, we are focusing on digital skill sets regardless of gender. So moving on to the final theme. Sustainable local society and women working. So this is basically life-work balance. So from Shiseido, D&I officer at Shiseido, I would like to ask Suzuki-san. Now at Shiseido, starting from the 90s, you have focused on allocating time and systems for child rearing, and you've been very proactive. And the women managerial positions, 37.6% is where it is, I understand now. So I do think it is a very high ratio. So diversity is needed for the growth of the company as well as supporting society. What are some of your thoughts on this theme, Suzuki-san? So if I may mention, this is something that has been said many times, but empowering women, in other words, women being able to take leadership positions more and more will allow us to impact the economy directly. I truly believe this. So it's a very simple formula. Household income will increase if household income is stable, and if you feel you have more disposable income, then women will invest in themselves without any reluctance or hesitancy. It's a very simple formula. And so the impact on economy will be very positive as well, the more you empower women. And this is and this will lead to stimulating various industries as well. Now, for local companies, if I may say, there are so many means and ways to offer empowering women that we at larger companies cannot do. And I think I've heard of very good episodes. And so from Ishikawa-san, because I think you have more ideas that you can actually expand on. You can offer very attractive workplaces which will stop the exit of women from the labor force, and you can actually create more diversity in the workflows as well. And that is what I feel. So again, this will also have a positive impact on men as well, and also non-Japanese as well, I think. So people feeling that they're happy and they feel that they are working in a very good working environment, we have to provide that as a set. And for the private sector and the public sector, enhancing the appeal of the local society will allow diversity, will allow inclusion, and that hopefully can be reflected in the social community as well. Thank you. Now at Tochigi, you are very proactive in focusing on creating equality. And so Sanshin, company Sanshin, Namura-san, I would like to ask you, because you have been certified as one of these companies under this Ikiki program that Tochigi Prefecture has launched. And so perhaps you could say a few words about this. So I am from Shiseido. My name is Namura. So we have been welcomed our 75th anniversary, and so we undertake various civil services, and so this industry is dominated by men. And for us, female workers, out of the total 60, only 20% are female. In other words, 12 in total. And amongst these 12, we have construction certified experts as well, and so they are utilizing their PC skills to create documents as well as PR activities, recruitment, as well as internal DX. And so bit by bit, these 12 employees, female employees, are expanding their horizon. But the number of females that are actually directly involved in the construction work, we do not have any. So we do hope that some can join us, but it's not about just increasing the headcount, and that is not our goal. So out in the field, there are very rigorous environments. There are various rigorous requirements by the customers as well. So there is a lot of overtime as well as weekend work. But regardless of whether you are male or female, it is very difficult for the younger generation because everybody has a different background. It is very difficult to offer the same cookie-cutter environment for work. So 70% of our work is civil works, and so basically we receive orders from governmental municipal offices. And so prior to the construction until all the way until the end of the handover, there's a lot of documentation that needs to be created. So you have to manage the sites at daytime, and after that concludes, you have to go back to the office and create documents, which means that there is a lot of overtime.
During the construction period, try to reduce the transportation time so they can work from home or working from the site. We try to do many things to shorten the working hour, but one company can do only limited things. We really have to review these things as a society. So the administrative department, they shoulder some of the document creation at the site workers and try to reduce the workload there. So overcoming the weaknesses is one, but rather than that, I hope that each individual can unleash their potential to make a good team members. So gender really doesn't matter which work they should do. They really have to find their strengths, and also companies should back up to advance their capabilities and potential. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to the mayor of Nasukarasuyama City, Ms. Kawamata. The Nasukarasuyama City has formulated an environmental improvement plan to enable employees to balance work and child rearing and working to create a role model for women's advancement in the community. So in order to promote women's empowerment, what can you do as a local government? We are smallest city in Tochigi Prefecture, and last year March that we gave that the next generation, the child rearing, and also the special advancement for the women. So this is a Nakama plan, and the subtitle is we are going to make the city government as the best working environment for everyone can work it. So the younger generation created this leaflet to make sure that they are enjoying their work. So each employee of the city must really appreciate each other and also try to emphasize each other. So we try to make it as a team member. So the female participation is not really 50%, but there are several generations where a woman has more percentage. So rather than just setting the years of the working, but we try to develop them. And also within the city government, the percentage of the employee is over. We are trying to achieve 30%, and hiring is over 50%, and the woman has a very good score at the entrance. And also for the companies in our city, I'm asking to take a work-life balance and try to get the certification. So when we certify the companies, they can have the work-life balance, such as the private life, child rearing, and then the care, nursing care. And if they achieve all these requirements, then we can certify the company. And last year, we certified 5 companies and published them, and so that the woman wants to work for those type of companies. Otherwise, the local companies cannot really communicate their greatness. So I became mayor, and I sometimes don't understand what they are making in their factory. So I asked them to what they are making in their factory. So I try to get to know them. I try to learn that what they are making and how they are really creating the environment for the woman. I think that is the best way to take the work-life balance. Thank you very much. Now moving on to the Governor Yoshimura, and I think that it is important important to create an environment each citizen can demonstrate their abilities at work, at home, and also community, and utilize diverse human resources in a wide range of fields. So from 2008, the Yamagata Work-Life Balance Charter was created, and 1 year later, the prefecture concluded the Work-Life Balance Promotion Agreement to ensure that labor, management, and government work together to promote work-life balance. So, Governor Yoshimura, what is the progress right now, and also what is your future? So the 2002, I think that we created the special survey, and the mainstay. There are, for the first time, over 50% respondents said that they are opposed to the idea that a man work and a woman stay home. Half of them feel that they should really review this way of thinking. And also, over 60% of the companies are working so that they give consideration to working hours. So in Yamagata Prefecture, we try to eliminate the stereotyped perception of gender roles. So men should really participate in the house jobs, child rearings, and others. In particular, the men's maternity leave or child care leave, it is very important to promote it so that they can participate in the house job. And rate of male employee taking child care leave is right now 21.6%, but at the prefectural government, it went to 86.3%. And up to that point, it didn't make much progress. So I asked around what happened. And when the father take child care leave, then the income reduce. So the wife asked the husband not to take child care leave. So we decided to support the financial income of the men. So we created the mutual aid society for prefectural employees to compensate for the salary reduction during the child care leave. And also the supervisors encourage employees to take the leave so that they can take it without any anxiety and try to create that environment. And that's led to the over 80% of acquisition. So we have to start from our own team. So we are aiming at 100%. Thank you so much. Okay, then we have to ask the Governor Koike. And I think that you set the life ahead of work. You call it life-work balance rather than work-life balance. And I think you are taking lots of initiatives. Ms. Koike, what do you think of the how you are making progress in there? Word is very important. So you really have to communicate clearly so that we share our intent. When I was a Minister of Environment, I created Cool Biz. And that word really changed the world, and also innovation. Created the new industry. So the work-life balance, you have to turn it around. Life-work balance. And the president of the supermarket is very happy about this life-work balance. And also, I created the work that the ikugyo, like child care leave, sounds like you are taking a holiday. So I said the child rearing business, child rearing operation, I call it. And also, it is not a word, but also in the central government, I often learned about the liquid milk. Finland Parliamentarian Council, I was a chairman there. So Finnish people introduced me with the liquid milk. And especially during the disaster, we cannot get the water, we cannot get the gas, so that we cannot make the milk out of the powder milk. And also women get distressed and then cannot really breastfeed them. So I asked the female parliamentarian to introduce liquid milk to Japan, so that working on the Ministry of Health Care and working on the liquid milk. So it is introduced as the special measures and the special product during the natural disaster. But I think that liquid milk can be the daily use when you go out. You don't have to take a thermal powder milk and also water. That's going to be too much things to carry. And during the nighttime, the father can also fix milk. If it is a liquid milk, then you can just feed it as it is. So I then communicating about it and making concrete measures for the people to use the liquid milk.
So we have women leaders here, but this is regardless of political party. However, in the political world, women are already always in the opposition party, always. So how do we join hands and unite ourselves and leverage the power of women in the political arena or in the industrial arena or in the social arena? So I do believe that this will be the make or breaking point of Japan's future. So we are all in the opposing party right now, but let us unite. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we do want to hear more, but we have approached the ending time for the talk session. And yes, it's still a long way to go to reach the ideal state here in Japan. But although it may be slow, we need that commitment. And for the participants today, as well as those of you listening into this session, let us carry on with these endeavors, enjoying ourselves at the same time. And if women are leaders, I believe that we can inject that sense of fun and enjoyment as well. And I firmly believe that that is possible. So on that note, we would like to conclude women's empowerment and regional innovation in the future. Thank you very much, all panelists. So we have Tokyo leaders online with us as well. So we would like to hear from them. So starting off with Koto Ward, we have with us Mayor Kimura. Thank you very much for today. And there was a conclusion that women in politics are still the opposing party, but that is all the more why we need to unite ourselves and unite our strengths as well. So I'm renewed my commitment. Now, in terms of diversity as well as disseminating the appeal of the local community, we have more than 530,000 residents in a ward, and for the first time, I have been appointed as the mayor. Now, I need to break away from this unconscious bias and show that a woman can become the leader as well. And I do hope that my existence will encourage other younger women as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now moving on to Shinagawa City. Ms. Kyoko Morisawa, Mayor, please. Hi, my name is Morisawa, Mayor of Shinagawa City. Thank you very much. Now, 6 months passed since I became a mayor. And gender balance at the city government is not well taken. I am the only one, or myself, or just the other. So Tokyo Metropolitan Government and also Yamagata Prefecture, 40%, 50% participation. I really want to take measure to increase the people. And the Suzuki-san mentioned about the leader development is very impressive because Shinagawa city only 20% of the management are women. Some women don't want to be a manager, so I have to change the perception and also the mindset of the people, so that hopefully that the women want to be a manager. So I really want to take those measures. And also for the operation for the region, Shinagawa City, Musashi Koyama, the center was created several years ago, and we held the Women Business Grand Prix, the contest, to produce Japanese female entrepreneurs so that we can bring about the innovation in this region. So thank you very much for me to participate. I'm very much encouraged by your comment. I really want to work with you to encourage and also invigorate Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would now like to welcome Mayor Miyuki Takagiwa from Toshima Ward. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you very much for today. So all of the top leaders, listening to your dialogue, I think I received a lot of energy, as well as I feel that I'm very motivated now, and I would like to explain why. And listening to the Yamagata situation, I was nodding and nodding. And having the vision and creating a support system and being a member of that, you feel a sense of comradeship in a way. And so being able to share such ideas is very important these occasions. And sharing these opportunities and sharing these insights with people of my generation, as well as the younger generation, with the residents of the city as well. Now at Toshima Ward, 3 years ago, I became a deputy mayor, and we had a Suzuran project that supports young girls. And so I led this initiative. And also 53 women, some who just joined the office, are members. And the more they work and the more they exchange ideas, more and more ideas flow out, and things improve and improve. And I have a hands-on feel of what the power of women can do. And when I consider what was happening in the past, it's true that there were no role models, and perhaps that limited the area where you could be active, or perhaps there was lesser involvement in policy decisions. And it was not for the ward workers, but I think that this goes for the city residents as well. So I do believe that we need to take this a step further and elevate the stage where we can be more active. And I do hope that I can be a supporter of such initiatives. And so listening to the various leaders and the initiatives and approaches that you have taken, sharing that, I want to do that more. So in that sense, I personally today received a lot of energy, and I feel that I can renew my commitment. Thank you.
Now moving on to Ms. Kanako Yamada, the mayor of Kita City. Nice to meet you. I am Kanako Yamada. I learned a great deal from you. I'm also received lots of energies from you. At the Kita city government, 37.5% are female parliamentarians. And when it comes to the management of the government, it's only 20.2%. So it's much way to go. 17 years ago, I became the member of the city council, and at that time, I created a special study for the just a female-only type of study group. But it's going away because we have more members, female members. But at the same time, we have to increase the percentage of the female managers. So first of all, we have to support the woman to be the managerial level of the local government. And also, when it comes to the businesses in Kita City, the people who want to start the businesses or be entrepreneurs, we try to support them. So include them. I really want to try many new things. Listening to you, I feel that for women to be able to be active in the environment and society, we really have to have a good institutions to support women, including the housework, such as child rearings and also nursing care and others. And we have to change our mindset and perception. We, the chief of the government, should really communicate to how to change the society. So I hope that you will also support us too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So next from Kodaira City, Yoko Kobayashi, Mayor. My name is Kobayashi from Kodaira City, and I would like to extend my gratitude for preparing such an occasion. And today I was able to listen to a lot of insightful dialogue, and I do believe that the network is very, very encouraging and supportive. And I personally, when we focus on women in the managerial positions, increasing it and also empowering women, I'm very focused. It's been 2 years since I was appointed as mayor, but I'm still midway. And we are just starting to initiating various activities. And as was mentioned by my peer, when I attend these meetings, usually I'm the only woman. And looking at Koike-san and Yoshimura-san, we want to raise the bar to 40%, 50%. Now, with the council sessions and so forth, we do have many women on board, and we're very proactive. However, for instance, for various organizational heads, we cannot, as the city, ask them to change the top leader from a man to a woman, but so that is an area where we feel that we are a bit challenged. So if the organizational top is a man, then there is a very deeply rooted unconscious bias. I believe that Suzuki-san from Shiseido said that the entire mindset of society has to change, and for Kodaira City as well. We want to encourage residents to be on board as well. So this is a special article, and we have published a special article focusing on unconscious bias. So I know these are very subtle initiatives, and we can only conquer them one by one. But by doing so, we do hope that we can change the mindset of citizens. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mayor of Higashi Yamato-shi, Miss Hitomi Wachi. Nice to meet you. I've been listening to the various experiences of the panelists, and I gained lots of learnings, and also I was also very much encouraged by you. Just 2 months, less than 2 months passed since I became mayor, and local councils members only 20%, but the head of the council is a female, and also Secretary General of the Parliament is female. So all three on the stage are women. So that is the Higashi Yamato City. So when I participate in different meetings, chairman is woman, and I'm also a mayor and a female, so that two females are participating in the conference. So people sometimes get surprised. So I'm impressed about the word role models. In Higashi Yamato City, the Secretary General of the Council is a woman, but all the head of the departments are men. So I talked to a female section manager and also asked her to go get promoted. But she often said that I'm better at supporting position. I like supporting position, but I think that is the stereotype, or I would say that it's the idea that inculcated into their heads. So you have to make an environment that women can challenge the leadership role. And it is not good to discuss about the president. Women don't have much precedence. So when women become a leader, then they don't care about the president. They can try new things. So that's things that I really thinking while I was listening to you. So I hope that we can be the cheerleaders to increase role models in this country, and hopefully that many people will challenge new things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, from Nishitama-gun, Hinode-machi, I would like to welcome Misako Tamura, Mayor. This is Tamura from Hinode-machi. And listening to the exchanges today, I am in total agreement with everything that was voiced, and I feel the sentiment. So out of Tokyo metropolitan city, the city residents are 16,500, and we have 14 female members, but in managerial positions, 2 years ago when I was appointed, there were 0, although we have 14 now. And after 1 year, 1, and then second year, another. And so we have 2. So we now have 3 women, and so the landscape has changed a little bit when we look at the assembly. So, Koike-san, you said that words are important, I believe you mentioned. And out of the messages disseminated from Tokyo, that's something that resonates with me, because I think the governor is very selective about the words that are being used, and that is something that I'm very grateful for. And Yoshimura-san, the flexibility that you have, that is something that I would also like to take note of. And at the keynote speech made by Yukari Suzuki, your confidence as well as commitment, that is the focus of the training for women's empowerment training. And so becoming top of a company or an organization, or becoming a manager, that is something that women can do. We're very capable of doing that. So regardless of the role, women can aim for the top. But then what does what does it mean to aim for the top? I don't think we've never been educated on this theme. So the importance of such sessions is extremely important, I felt, listening to Suzuki-san's speech. And so this was a very enriched time for me in attending. And I am overwhelmed in a positive way with all the discussions. So thank you very much. Thank you. So for those attending online, once again, thank you very much.
Now, lastly, on behalf of the organizer, I would like to ask the Governor Yoshimura of Tochigi of the Yamagata Prefecture to give concluding closing remarks. Well, thank you very much for your participation, even though this is the online event. I'm really happy that so many people have participated in this event. The theme of the conference was Women's Advancement and the Future of Regional Innovation. And I believe that the entire conference, including Ms. Yukari Suzuki's keynote speech and also the talk session, it's very interesting and useful for many people in the audience for the future. How did you like it? The G7 ministerial meeting on gender equality and women's empowerment in Nikko, Tochigi, and at the same time with the meetings that we communicated the guidelines for the women's success in the world from we, the female leaders. I have also learned that the period between the decision to hold this conference and to its opening was very short, yet I would like to express my gratitude once again to all the staff members who prepared such a wonderful conference. Now, the COVID-19 have finally been moved to Category 5 under the Infectious Disease Control Law, yet we are facing many challenges such as the frequent occurrence of the natural disasters and a high price of energy and other commodities. In order to address the challenges, we believe it is very important to strongly promote gender equality and women's empowerment to maximize the power of women. In order to realize a sustainable and vibrant society, it is essential that women, who make up half of the population, also fully demonstrate their abilities and play an active role. The power of women who share half of the population, if we do not take advantage of it, it is going to be a waste in the society. I strongly hope that all of you here today will use this conference as an opportunity to lead women's participation in society in your respective field and position. In addition, I sincerely hope that this the Women's Network Vision Network by female governors and mayors will be an opportunity for local governments and the business community to work together more than ever to promote the participation of women in all fields and all generations to realize sustainable, vibrant society in the future. Lastly, several chiefs of the government said that to make the council members as a 50%, then yet the top of the private organizations are mainly male, and then they feel that that is a hindrance. But even in our prefecture, it was difficult. So I asked that the head of the Chamber of Commerce could be a man, but the vice governor could be female, so that I call the governor and say, I want to reflect the woman's perspective, so please recommend some female representative to be participating in the council. So that's how I did to promote the number of the female members. So I think you can be very flexible, think of increasing the numbers. The Governor Koike of Tokyo and all the participants here today, we really have to work towards the future where women can shine. And if you do, it will become a reality. So with that spirit, we really have to lead Japan. Thank you very much for staying with us until the end.
Thank you very much. And for those on stage today, thank you very much once again. So women empowerment and the future of regional innovation was the theme today that we pursued, and we had leaders of government as well as private sector in attendance, and I do believe that we were able to receive a great insight from all of you to focus on sustainable society as well as stimulating the local communities. So I do believe that we were able to come up with many clues and hints along the way, and I do hope that the participants can utilize these comments as well. So once again, I would like to thank the participants as well as the viewers for your attendance.